Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive.
Yeah, it's great to be back.
Today we're looking at something that I think is really close to the heart of every public servant,
Oh, absolutely.
making a real difference in people's lives.
Yeah.
And we're not just talking about abstract ideals here.
Yeah. Right.
We're going to get into the nitty-gritty of how your agency, your team,
Right.
can actually operate better
Yes.
to boost your impact.
Sure.
And to help us do that,
Yeah.
we've got a fantastic article from McKinsey
Okay. Excellent.
that dives deep into the idea of organizational health,
It's a good one.
particularly focused on the public sector.
Yeah. So,
Focusing on us.
yeah, this is all about us.
Absolutely.
So what's the big takeaway here?
So the big takeaway is this idea
Okay.
that a healthy organization
Yeah.
isn't just about efficiency or hitting performance targets.
Right.
It's about creating an environment where people feel valued,
Yeah.
they feel motivated, and they're truly aligned with the mission.
That makes sense. And get this.
Okay.
McKinsey's research shows that agencies that score high on this thing they call the Organizational Health Index
Okay.
have significantly higher employee satisfaction. They have less burnout.
All right.
And even better performance overall.
Okay. I'm listening.
Who wouldn't want that?
Yeah, no kidding.
Right.
So let's back up for a second because,
Yes.
public service is unique, right?
It is.
We've got this dual mission of serving the public good,
Yes.
but also being good to our employees.
We've got to take care of our people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how does this organizational health thing
Yeah.
fit in with all the other pressures that we face?
Yeah.
The scrutiny, the budget constraints, the constantly shifting political landscape.
Yeah, you're really hitting on a crucial point.
Yeah.
The article acknowledges that, public sector organizations
Yeah,
are grappling with a whole host of challenges
for sure.
that can make this dual mission feel downright impossible at times.
Oh, yeah. I've been there.
Right. And it's not just about keeping up with technology
Uh-huh.
or changing demographics.
Right.
It's also the intense public scrutiny,
Yeah,
the political hoops we have to jump through.
absolutely.
And let's not forget those ever-shrinking budgets.
Oh, yeah.
All of that creates this very specific pressure cooker
Yeah.
that private sector folks just don't experience in the same way.
It's like we're running a marathon
Yeah.
with an obstacle course
Exactly.
thrown in for good measure.
Yeah.
So how does this organizational health thing
Okay.
help us navigate all of that craziness
Yeah.
and actually achieve our goals?
Okay, well, McKinsey defines organizational health as how effectively leaders manage resources,
Okay.
make decisions, and lead their teams
Okay.
for both short-term results and long-term success.
Gotcha.
And they've been studying this for over 20 years.
Wow.
And their Organizational Health Index, or OHI as they call it,
Okay.
boils it down to 3 core capabilities.
Okay. Let's hear it.
All right, so we've got alignment, we've got execution, and we've got renewal.
Alignment, execution, renewal.
Yes, think of them as the pillars that hold up a healthy, high-performing agency.
Okay. I'm following so far.
Good.
But this all sounds pretty theoretical to me.
Okay.
Can you break those capabilities down for us?
Absolutely.
What do they actually look like in the real world of public service?
Yeah, so let's start with alignment.
Okay.
This is all about making sure everyone from the frontline staff
Yep.
to the folks in the corner office
Uh-huh.
are rowing in the same direction.
Okay.
It's about having a shared understanding of the vision, the strategy,
Yeah.
and the values that guide your work.
Got that.
It's like having a compass that keeps everyone on course,
Yeah.
especially when we're dealing with these complex issues
All right.
that affect so many stakeholders.
That makes a lot of sense.
Good.
But let's be honest.
Sure.
In the public sector, it's so easy to get bogged down
It is.
in the day-to-day grind.
Yeah.
And lose sight of the big picture.
It's true.
So how do we stay aligned
Right.
when we're constantly being pulled in a million different directions?
That's where strong leadership comes in.
Okay.
And we'll delve into that a bit later.
Okay.
But first, let's talk about execution.
Okay.
This is about giving people the tools and the support they need to actually get things done.
Right.
It's about setting clear expectations,
Yeah.
providing opportunities for professional development,
Uh-huh.
and fostering a culture of continuous improvement.
So it's not just about telling people what to do.
No,
It's about creating an environment where they can thrive
precisely.
and make a real contribution.
Yeah,
I like it.
good.
Okay, what about renewal?
Okay, renewal.
That sounds intriguing.
It's all about adapting
Okay.
and responding effectively
Uh-huh.
to the ever-changing world around us.
Okay.
Think new legislation evolving citizen needs,
Right.
unforeseen challenges.
Yeah.
The public sector is a whirlwind. This capability is about being agile, flexible, and constantly learning.
So you don't become a dinosaur,
Exactly.
stuck in the old ways of doing things.
You got it.
You're preaching to the choir here.
All right.
I think anyone listening knows how important it is to adapt
It is.
and stay relevant
Yes,
in today's fast-paced world.
absolutely.
But let's get real here.
Okay.
Where does the public sector actually stand
Yeah,
on this whole organizational health scale?
right. Are we nailing it or do we have some work to do?
Spill the tea.
Well, according to McKinsey's research,
Okay.
public sector entities tend to lag behind private organizations
Yeah.
when it comes to overall organizational health.
Really?
Now, that's not to say that we're doing a terrible job,
Oh, okay.
but there's definitely room for improvement.
So where are our weak spots?
Okay.
What are the areas where public sector organizations tend to stumble?
So there are a few key areas that the article highlights.
Okay.
One is coordination and control. Think juggling multiple priorities,
Yep.
navigating complex regulations, and trying to mitigate risks at every turn.
It never ends.
Right. It's a lot to manage.
It is.
And it can lead to inefficiencies, bottlenecks,
Yeah.
and difficulty achieving those big, hairy, audacious goals.
Coordination and control, the eternal struggle
Yes.
of the public servant.
Right.
What else is tripping us up?
Okay. So another area where we could step up our game is accountability.
Okay.
Now, I know public servants are accountable to a whole bunch of folks,
Oh, yeah.
our bosses, elected officials, and of course the citizens we serve.
Of course.
But sometimes those lines of accountability can get a little blurry.
That's a good point.
Right.
It's not always crystal clear who's responsible for what.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's a lack of, let's call it consequence management.
Right.
People might have the best intentions,
Right.
but if the system isn't set up to promote real accountability,
Yeah.
things can fall through the cracks.
Absolutely. And finally, public sector organizations
Okay.
often struggle with something called external orientation.
Okay, that's one of those jargony terms
Yeah.
that could use some unpacking.
For sure.
What does external orientation actually mean
Yeah.
for us in the trenches?
Okay. So it's about truly understanding the needs and expectations of the people we serve,
Okay.
the citizens.
The citizens.
It's about engaging with them effectively, involving them in decision-making,
Okay.
and communicating clearly and transparently.
Right.
It's about shifting our mindset from we know what's best
Okay.
to let's work together to find solutions.
I like that shift. I think
Yeah.
it speaks to a larger challenge in the public sector.
Yeah.
This balancing act
Right.
of needing to be efficient and accountable,
Uh-huh.
but also being responsive and citizen-centric.
Yes. It's like walking a tightrope,
It is.
but it's essential if we want to build trust and deliver services that truly meet people's needs.
Us about the people.
It's about recognizing that we're not just cogs in a machine.
Right.
We're human beings working with other human beings to make their lives better.
Okay, so we've got a pretty good understanding now of where the public sector is falling short.
We do.
But before we all descend into a pit of despair,
Right.
let's shift gears and talk about solutions.
I like it.
What are some concrete things we can do to improve the health of our agencies
Yeah.
and ultimately make a bigger difference in the lives of the citizens we serve?
Absolutely. So the good news is that the McKinsey article lays out 5 really concrete opportunities for improvement.
Okay, I'm ready. Let's hear them.
Okay, these aren't just pie-in-the-sky ideas either.
Yeah.
These are actionable strategies backed by real-world examples from public sector organizations all around the globe.
I like the sound of that. Hit me with those opportunities.
All right, so first up, anchor your vision on the beneficiaries
Okay.
of your public services.
Okay.
Sounds obvious, right?
It does.
But you'd be surprised how easy it is.
Yeah.
To get caught up in internal processes, political maneuvering,
For sure.
or, the latest management fad,
Yeah.
and lose sight of why we're here in the first place.
Right. To serve the people.
That's right. Yes.
It's like that saying,
Yeah.
can't see the forest for the trees.
Yes.
We get so focused on the tasks right in front of us
Yes.
that we forget about the bigger picture,
Right.
the human impact.
The human impact.
Yes.
Of our work.
Precisely this opportunity is about making sure that every strategic goal,
Okay.
every initiative,
Yeah.
every budget decision
Okay.
is directly linked to a tangible benefit
All right.
for the citizens you serve.
Okay.
It's about putting people at the heart of your agency's vision.
Okay. I'm liking this people-first approach.
Good.
But how do we actually put it into practice?
Right.
We all have those mission statements hanging on the wall.
Yeah.
But how do we make sure those words actually translate into real action?
So the article gives some really inspiring examples.
Of public sector organizations that are walking the walk,
Right.
not just talking the talk.
Give me an example.
Okay, so one that really stood out to me
Yeah.
was Saudi Vision 2030.
Okay.
This is a national transformation program
Okay.
that has anchored the strategies of all the public entities in the country
Wow.
around a shared vision for a better future.
That's ambitious.
It is.
So it's not just about individual agencies doing their own thing.
Right.
It's about creating a unified vision
Yes.
that cuts across all these different departments.
It does, and silos.
Exactly. It's about creating a shared understanding of what you're trying to achieve
Yeah,
and how it's going to impact the lives of the citizens.
I like it.
And it's not just happening on a national level either.
Oh, really?
In Belgium, they've developed a platform called Go Vocal.
Okay.
We used to call it Citizen Lab,
Okay.
but now it's Go Vocal, and this platform actively solicits citizen input
Wow.
on a wide range of issues.
So they're not just paying lip service to citizen engagement. No, they're not.
They're actually baking it into their decision-making process.
They are. It highlights a really crucial element of anchoring your vision on your beneficiaries.
Okay.
And that is co-creation.
Co-creation.
I like that.
Yeah. It's not enough to just tell people what you're doing for them.
Right.
You need to involve them in shaping those solutions from the very beginning.
That's how you build trust.
Exactly.
And make sure that what you're doing is actually relevant.
It is.
Yeah.
And that's how you maximize your impact.
I'm starting to see how these seemingly small shifts
Yeah.
in mindset can have these huge ripple effects
They do.
throughout an organization.
Absolutely.
It's not just about ticking boxes.
No.
It's about fundamentally changing how we approach our work
Yes.
and our relationship with the people that we serve.
You got it.
Okay, what's the next opportunity on the list?
All right. So number 2 is to establish balanced leadership.
Balanced leadership. Okay.
Now, leadership is obviously important.
Yeah.
In any organization, of course.
But in the public sector, it takes on a whole new level of significance.
Right. We're dealing with complex ethical considerations.
We are.
The public trust.
Yes.
The well-being of our communities.
Absolutely. We're not just selling widgets here.
Yeah, we're dealing with people's lives.
We are.
So what does balanced leadership look like in this context?
So it's about cultivating leaders who not only drive results,
Right.
but also create a positive and supportive work environment.
I like that.
Yeah, they inspire, they empower,
Uh-huh.
and they genuinely care
Okay.
about the well-being of their teams.
Yeah.
It's not about being a hard-nosed taskmaster.
Right.
It's about being a human being who understands that people do their best work
Yeah.
when they feel valued, respected, and supported.
That resonates with me.
Good.
I've definitely had bosses who were all about the bottom line.
Yeah.
And let's just say it didn't bring out the best in me or my colleagues.
Right.
But how do we actually foster this kind of balanced leadership
Okay.
in the public sector?
Yeah, is it something you're born with?
Yeah.
Or can you learn it?
Right.
So the good news is that leadership is a skill that can be developed.
I like it.
And there are some amazing programs out there
Oh, really?
specifically designed to equip public servants
Okay.
with the tools and the mindsets
Yeah.
they need to lead effectively
Okay.
in today's complex world.
Give us some examples.
All right, so the article highlights the Canada School of Public Service,
Oh, yeah.
which offers a fantastic array of training programs for public servants at all levels, with a particular emphasis on people leadership.
People leadership. That's what we need.
Right. They cover everything from emotional intelligence to conflict resolution to building a culture of trust.
Awesome.
And then you have the Australian Major Projects Leadership Academy,
Okay.
which focuses on helping project leaders drive large-scale change and innovation within their organizations.
So they're helping leaders develop the skills to transform culture,
Yes.
boost productivity,
Yes.
and promote sustainability.
Absolutely. These programs sound incredible.
They do.
And it's amazing to see that countries are investing in developing leaders who can not only manage projects, but also inspire and empower their teams.
It makes me think about that old saying.
Yeah.
People don't leave jobs. They leave managers.
It's so true.
If you have a supportive and inspiring leader
Right.
who genuinely cares about your well-being,
Yes.
you're far more likely to stay motivated and engaged.
Absolutely.
And committed to the mission.
And that's a win-win for everyone.
It is.
Especially the citizens who benefit from a more effective and responsive public sector.
Okay, I'm ready for opportunity number 3. What else can we do?
All right, so the third opportunity is to implement meritocratic performance management.
Okay.
Now, I know performance management
Yeah.
can be a bit of a touchy subject.
It can be.
In the public sector.
Especially in the public sector.
But hear me out.
Okay, I'm listening.
Mm-hmm.
What exactly do we mean by meritocratic performance management?
Right, because I think we've all experienced those performance review systems
Oh, yeah.
that feel more like a bureaucratic box-ticking exercise than a genuine effort to improve performance and recognize contributions.
Totally. You're right. It's not about just filling out forms.
No, it's
and going through the motions.
It's about creating a system where performance is recognized and rewarded fairly and consistently.
So creating a culture where everyone feels valued.
Yes.
And motivated to do their best work.
Exactly.
Knowing that their contributions will be acknowledged.
Yes.
And rewarded.
Absolutely.
So it's about creating a level playing field where people can advance based on their skills, their dedication, and their impact.
Yes.
Not on favoritism.
Right.
Or how well they play the political game.
Exactly.
I like the sound of that. But let's be real. Implementing that kind of system in the public sector is no easy feat.
It's not.
We have to navigate things like union contracts,
We do.
civil service regulations, and sometimes a general reluctance to rock the boat.
It's true. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
There are definitely challenges.
Yeah.
And the article acknowledges that one issue is that it can be really tough to implement performance-based pay or promotions in a system that's often based on seniority or other factors that don't always align with merit.
And sometimes there's this unspoken fear of addressing underperformance directly. Like we're worried about hurting people's feelings or creating conflict. But the reality is, if we're not addressing underperformance, we're basically saying that mediocrity is acceptable.
That's right.
And that ultimately hurts everyone.
It does.
Including the citizens we're here to serve.
Exactly. It's about creating a culture of excellence where everyone is striving to do their best work and supporting each other along the way.
I like it.
And the article highlights some interesting examples of countries that are experimenting with different approaches to performance management in the public sector.
Like how are other countries tackling this thorny issue?
So one example is Germany's use of flexible employment contracts. So they've incorporated more fixed term or temporary contracts into their public sector workforce.
Interesting. How does that tie into performance management?
So by offering these shorter term contracts, it creates more opportunities for performance evaluation. It allows for more flexibility in adjusting the workforce based on needs and performance.
So it's a way to introduce more dynamism and accountability into the system.
It is.
Which can be beneficial for both the organization and the individual employee.
Precisely. And this is just one example. The key takeaway here is that public sector organizations need to find ways to implement performance management systems that are fair, transparent, and truly meritocratic. It's not about punishing people. It's about creating a culture where everyone is encouraged to strive for excellence and where contributions are recognized and rewarded accordingly.
I think this is especially important for attracting and retaining top talent.
It is.
You know, if talented people feel like their hard work isn't being recognized or rewarded, they're more likely to leave for the private sector.
They are.
Where those things are often more explicitly valued.
Yeah, and that's a loss for everyone.
It is.
Especially the citizens who depend on a high-performing public sector.
Absolutely. It's about sending a message that the public sector is a place. Where talent is valued, where contributions matter, and where you can build a meaningful and rewarding career.
You got it.
Okay, we've covered 3 key opportunities so far.
We have.
Anchoring our vision on beneficiaries. Establishing balanced leadership. And implementing meritocratic performance management.
We have.
What's next on the list?
Okay, so the 4th opportunity is to accomplish governance with speed.
Okay, speed isn't exactly a word that springs to mind when we think about government bureaucracy.
No, it's not, but bear with me.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Tell me more about this seemingly oxymoronic concept.
Okay, so it's about recognizing that these slow, cumbersome processes are not only frustrating for everyone involved, but they also hinder our ability to effectively serve citizens and adapt to this rapidly changing world.
So it's not about rushing things through haphazardly.
No.
It's about streamlining processes.
Yes.
Clarifying accountability and embracing digital solutions to accelerate decision-making and ultimately deliver better outcomes faster.
Yes.
Okay, I can get behind that.
Good.
The article points to Estonia as a shining example of a country that has successfully embraced digital governance.
Oh, Estonia, the land of e-residency and digital nomads.
Yes.
Tell me more about what they're doing in the public sector.
Okay, so they've been pioneers in digital governance for years, moving almost all of their government processes and services online.
Wow.
I mean, they introduced digital signatures back in 2002.
Wow.
And now citizens can access a wide range of services, from paying taxes to voting.
Oh, wow.
With just a few clicks.
That's impressive.
It is.
They've truly embraced technology.
They have.
To make their government more efficient, transparent, and citizen-friendly.
Absolutely. And while not every country can replicate Estonia's model overnight, the key takeaway is that there are steps that all public sector organizations can take to streamline their processes and embrace digital solutions.
I think in the public sector, we often have this really deeply ingrained risk aversion culture.
Yes, we do. We're so worried about making mistakes or getting things wrong that it can just paralyze us and slow down progress.
It does.
Maybe we need to be a little more willing to experiment.
I agree.
To embrace new ways of doing things.
Yes.
And to accept that occasional failures are part of the learning process.
That's a brilliant insight.
Oh, thanks.
Embracing a growth mindset is essential for thriving in today's fast-paced world.
Okay, one more opportunity to go.
Okay.
What's the final piece of the puzzle when it comes to building a healthier, more impactful public sector?
Okay, so the fifth and final opportunity is to collaborate without silos.
Oh, tell me about it.
I know this is a perennial challenge.
It is.
In the public sector.
I've definitely experienced the frustration of working in silos within my own agency.
Right.
Let alone trying to collaborate across different departments.
It's tough.
Or even different levels of government.
I know. It's like we're all speaking different languages.
We are.
We're working towards different goals. Yeah.
And guarding our own little fiefdom.
You're painting a vivid picture.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's a very common experience.
Yeah.
But it's also a missed opportunity.
Yes, it is.
Public sector organizations have a wealth of knowledge, expertise.
Yeah.
And resources spread across all these different teams and agencies. Right? If we can break down those silos.
Yes.
And foster a culture of collaboration.
I agree.
We can achieve so much more.
Absolutely.
So it's about recognizing that we're all on the same team.
We are.
Working toward the same goal, serving the public good.
Yes.
It's about shifting our mindset from competition to cooperation.
Yes.
From hoarding information to sharing knowledge.
Exactly. And the article provides a great example of how to do this effectively.
Okay. I like examples. What is it?
It's the Danish Parliament's e-petition system.
Oh, that sounds interesting. Tell me more.
Okay, so essentially citizens can submit petitions online.
Okay.
And if a petition gathers enough signatures...
It's automatically brought before Parliament for consideration.
Wow, that's a powerful way.
It is.
To give citizens a direct voice in shaping legislation.
Exactly.
It's a great example of how technology can be used to break down these barriers between government and the people.
It is, and it goes beyond just gathering input.
Okay.
It's about creating a collaborative space where citizens and government can work together to identify problems and co-create solutions.
I love that idea. It's about seeing citizens not just as passive recipients of services, but as active partners in shaping their communities and their government.
It is.
It's about building trust, transparency, and a shared sense of ownership.
You're getting it. And that's what this opportunity is all about. It's about recognizing that we're all in this together.
Yeah.
And that we can achieve far more when we work collaboratively, breaking down those silos that separate us and tapping into that collective wisdom. and expertise of everyone involved.
This has been a really insightful discussion so far.
It has.
We've covered a lot of ground.
We have.
From the unique challenges facing public sector organizations.
Yeah.
To these 5 key opportunities.
Yes.
For improving organizational health.
Absolutely.
And maximizing impact.
You got it. And it's not just theoretical.
Yeah.
It's practical.
Right.
These are things that any public servant at any level can start doing today to make a difference.
I'm feeling really energized by this conversation. It's a reminder that our work matters.
It does.
That we have the power to make a positive impact on people's lives.
You do.
And that we can do it in a way that's fulfilling, meaningful, and collaborative.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's about reclaiming that sense of purpose.
Yes.
That passion for public service that drew us to this work in the first place.
So what are some key takeaways from all of this?
Yeah.
What can our listeners do to start implementing these ideas in their own agencies and make a real difference?
Right.
What's the first step?
I think the first step is just recognizing how important organizational health really is.
Yeah.
It's not just, some fluffy HR initiative. It's the foundation for everything we do in public service.
For sure.
A healthy organization is more likely to attract and retain top talent.
Absolutely.
To innovate and adapt to change.
Yeah.
And ultimately to deliver better outcomes for the citizens we serve.
It's like creating this virtuous cycle.
Yes.
Where a healthy organization leads to happier, more engaged employees, which then leads to better services and a stronger, more resilient society.
Exactly. And once you've acknowledged the importance of organizational health, the next step is to take a good hard look at your own agency.
Okay.
Use that McKinsey Organizational Health Index framework that we talked about.
Right.
Alignment, execution, renewal. As a guide.
Okay.
Where are your strengths? Where are your weaknesses? What are the things that are holding you back from achieving your full potential?
It's like a checkup.
Yes.
For your agency.
It is.
We go to the doctor to make sure our bodies are healthy.
Right.
Why not do the same for the organizations we work in?
Exactly. And once you've identified those areas where you could use a boost, it's time to start brainstorming some specific actions.
Okay.
And don't try to boil the ocean here.
Right.
Start with small, achievable steps that you can build on over time.
So don't try to overhaul the entire performance management system overnight.
No.
Maybe start with a pilot project.
Yeah.
In one department. Or focus on improving communication and feedback loops within your own team.
Exactly. And remember, improving organizational health is an ongoing journey, not a destination.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
It is. It's about constantly evaluating, adjusting, and striving for continuous improvement. It's about embracing a growth mindset where you see challenges not as setbacks, but as opportunities for learning and innovation.
And don't be afraid to seek out resources and support.
Oh, absolutely.
There are tons of great organizations.
There are.
Programs, even articles like the one we've been discussing. That can offer guidance, inspiration. And practical tools for improving organizational health.
Absolutely. There's a whole community of public servants out there.
I bet.
Who are passionate about this work. Who are facing similar challenges. And who are eager to share their experiences and best practices.
I think that's one of the most powerful takeaways from this whole conversation. We're not in this alone.
We're not.
There are people all over the world working to make the public sector a better, more effective and more impactful force for good.
It's inspiring, isn't it?
It is.
To know that there are others out there who share our passion for public service. Who believe in the power of government to make a positive difference. And who are committed to making that vision a reality.
Absolutely. And that brings me to a final thought.
Okay.
I want to leave our listeners with.
Right.
The article we've been discussing focuses on the importance of aligning our vision with the needs of the citizens we serve. But I think it's important to go one step further.
Okay.
I think we need to involve citizens in the process of improving organizational health itself.
That's an intriguing idea.
So how do you envision that working in practice? Well, for starters, we can be more transparent about our efforts to improve organizational health, share our goals, our progress, our challenges with the public. Let them see that we're serious about making our agencies more effective and responsive to their needs.
So it's about opening up the doors. Inviting citizens into the conversation. And letting them know that their voices matter.
And we can go beyond just sharing information.
Okay.
We can actively solicit feedback from citizens.
Okay.
On how we can do better.
Yeah, what's working, what's not working.
What would they like to see change?
Right.
We can use surveys, town halls, online forums, social media. The possibilities for engagement are endless.
I love that.
It's about shifting our mindset from we're the experts, we know what's best, to let's work together to find solutions that work for everyone.
Exactly. It's about building trust, transparency, and a shared sense of ownership.
Because ultimately the public sector belongs to the people.
It does.
It's their government, and they have a right to have a say.
Yes, they do.
In how it operates.
Beautifully said.
So here's my challenge to everyone listening.
Okay.
Think about one concrete step you can take this week.
All right.
To involve citizens in your agency's efforts.
Yeah.
To improve organizational health.
I like it.
It doesn't have to be anything grand or revolutionary.
Right.
Maybe it's adding a feedback button to your website.
Yeah.
Hosting a community forum to discuss your agency's strategic plan. Or simply having a conversation with a citizen.
Yeah.
About their experience with your services.
Every step, no matter how small, brings us closer.
Yes.
To creating a public sector that is truly responsive, effective, and citizen-centric.
And that's a future worth striving for.
It is.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into organizational health.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We hope you found it insightful, inspiring, and empowering.
I did.
Until next time, keep up the great work.
Yeah.
Fellow public servants.
Absolutely.